Good morning! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, so welcome back to everything that is my crazy life. I thought today I would try to do a what I eat in a day, just because I put a lot of what I eat in my videos. I don't know if it's like very concise or about like what I'm actually consuming on a day-to-day basis. So I just thought this would be kind of fun just to get like more of an inside glance as to what it is that I have every day. So let's do this. So the first thing that I usually like to have every day is something that I recently started doing, which is just a glass of lemon water, which I know that sounds like I start my day every day with lemon water. Goals. I don't know. Honestly, I just like the taste of it because it's kind of like lemonade without the sugar, and it's just like this nice refreshing pop. So I already have half of a lemon because I had one yesterday. We don't even need to do any cutting work. And I got myself this like handy dandy like lemon squeezer. I think I got this at Target. I like that it's yellow, so it matches the lemon. It's actually a really small lemon, but I was initially squeezing these with my own hands, and then I was getting juice everywhere, and the seeds were getting in, and it was just kind of like, not fun. Oh my gosh, it's split. That's actually the first time that's ever happened. So yeah, these things mutilate these lemons, but it gets the juice out. The water pitcher desperately needs to be refilled, but here we go. You can see it has like just that little light fogginess. It's so lemony, even though like it doesn't look like there's much juice in there, but it's so good. I haven't really noticed if it's made any significant health benefits to me yet, but I just like it. But maybe it's something that I need to do like over a longer period of time to start noticing. But I think I've been drinking this about 2 weeks now, and I did buy fresh lemons to do it, even though I do have like this organic whole lemon juice. I just kept reading like how much better like fresh squeezed lemon juice was for this. I guess this doesn't really count as a meal, but it is the first thing I have of the day. Okay, so it's about 11 a.m. and this is usually when I have my first actual meal of the day. I've pretty much just been working since then, so no reason to bore you guys with that. So I'm just gonna make a small little breakfast. I'm currently in crunch mode trying to get a lot of stuff out of my fridge, so I am going to probably just do a bunch of hodgepodge crap. Let's see what we can come up with.
You can see it's like pulling off the pan. Wow, yeah, this is actually getting some colors. We're gonna go ahead and take that off. That wasn't really the goal, but that's super interesting, and I wonder how it's gonna taste. Okay, on to the eggs. Actually, let's go ahead and put the rice in real quick just to heat it up. A minute. Don't worry, I'm gonna clean up the counter. Cut those into like these beautiful slanted little pieces. I also like a lot of green onions, so I'm actually gonna use the whole thing.
It's so pretty. Okay, let's see how my breakfast rice bowl turned out. And I always like to eat these with like really wide spoons. I don't even know where I got this spoon from. It was probably like a thrift store. Oh, that's great. Careful, kimchi stains. Oh, the kimchi's not quite sour yet, but how's it with the fish cake? I like it. I think it's yummy. This is a pretty standard breakfast for me. I really like the whole rice, eggs, kimchi. So normally I have natto, but I don't have any right now. You get those probiotics from the kimchi. I don't know. Asian style breakfasts are a huge staple in my life. I also love Mexican style breakfasts. And when I say that, I mean like breakfast tacos and burritos, or like, I don't know, something with like hot sauce and guacamole and eggs, maybe some potatoes, like just like like themed or inspired. The flavors are just so perfect. So this is breakfast, and I'll probably see you guys again around like 2 or 3 when I make some lunch.
I think I'm on my 4th glass of iced tea today.
I had to cold brew some more tea. It won't be ready for like 2 to 3 hours, but this is a constant staple in my household. I always have to have iced tea ready. It's just part of my bloodstream. So it is 2:55 p.m. I've just been working. None of this is probably particularly interesting to you guys. I'm also just not hungry. My breakfast was so filling that I had at 11 that I feel like I don't really need lunch. And I'm trying to be better about telling my body, like if I'm not hungry, then I'm not gonna just unnecessarily give myself calories. So I think the next meal is probably going to be dinner. So I'm thinking that today might be a 2 meal day, which honestly happens all the time. But I am contemplating going to Target for a kombucha. We'll see if that happens. This is the only kombucha I like to get because it has 12 grams of sugar, but it has 0 grams of added sugar, unlike the rest of these. So I highly just recommend GTS Energy. Hey! Okay, so I got the Synergy Raw Kombucha, the Trilogy flavor. There weren't that many left, and I consistently like this one. So it is now 3:40 p.m. and just kind of mix those at the bottom. This is my lunch. I don't really think this counts as food. I was watching those bubbles for a second and I was nervous, but I'm just not hungry. So I'm not gonna give myself like unnecessary calories, which how many calories does this have? 50. And the serving size is 1 bottle, but it's kombucha. So it's loaded with probiotics, which is really good for your gut. So it's okay. I'm gonna make myself a good dinner tonight, but that's pretty typical of me. Like I'm not someone who usually skims out too much on dinner, even on the weekdays, because I like to cook. Because I didn't really have, I guess, like a full lunch, like it will give me more energy to make dinner. But oh, it's so good. I feel like kombucha girl. At first she was just like, what was it? She was like, and then something like that. The first time I ever had kombucha, I was like so pleasantly surprised. Delicious. Okay, it's dinner time. I am making Marion Grasby's Easy Tauntaun Man Ramen. I actually made this the other day and I just have leftover ingredients. And I think I initially saw this recipe a few years ago and she's like, it takes 15 minutes. Now don't quote me because I haven't seen the recipe video in a long time, but it takes me longer than that. I feel like the more and more I make it, the faster maybe it's coming. I have my egg boiling now. So we're doing 8-minute egg and it's going to then be, is it blanched? I don't think you blanch eggs. You blanch vegetables, but it's going to be put into an ice bath to cool down so that it doesn't continue to cook because I like that custardy ramen egg texture, but we're not doing a marinated egg. We're just going to do a plain, and it's a really simple, easy soup that honestly, hey Siri, stop. Oh God, I didn't even prepare the ice bath. Oh God, I gotta turn the heat off. Talk too much and I don't get done what I'm supposed to because I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to finish my workday because I am a slave to corporate America until the unforeseeable future. Okay, that's probably good. Come out. Now that the panic attack is over, I think something when it comes to ramen soups, like people get very finicky about eggs. I love eggs and I actually eat a lot of them. I typically probably have 2 to 3 packs of like 18 eggs at a time. And I mean like 18, always like stacked in my fridge just because my boyfriend and I eat a ton of them and it is such an easy way to get protein. So I put 3 on my breakfast and now I'm gonna have 1 in my soup tonight. And this soup also has pork. So I'm gonna link this recipe in the description. It's really easy and it's so good. The only thing is I have to modify it because when I make it, I usually cut it in half for 2 and now I have to divide it by 4 to make 1 bowl since my, this is just for me tonight. We're gonna get the rest of this recipe rocking and rolling now that my egg is done. I am trying to do all of this in probably 2 pots. I'm trying to not do 500 million dishes for 1 bowl of soup. Knowing me, that might still happen. So I'm gonna work on this because it's now 5:10 and I typically like to be done eating by 7 o'clock, which obviously that's gonna happen just based on the current time, but I am getting hungry now. Since I didn't actually have lunch, all I had was that kombucha. I feel like Kelly Stamps, except she has a spatula, but I'm just waving this around. But okay, let's get to making the rest of my dinner. Oh, this is gonna take more than 3 dishes. Gosh darn it, that stinks. What's kind of funny is that for the version of this recipe that's for 4 people, she wants you to use 3 cloves of garlic, but I'm doing this for 1 person and I'm still going to use 3 cloves of garlic. Okay, that's probably minced enough. So I want to be incredibly lazy and use ground ginger, but I actually have fresh ginger, so I should probably just use it. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't use it. Is it safe? But I think I'll be okay. But this part here, yeah, it definitely got green. I think that's everything I have to mince. This is one of my favorite ingredients. It goes into a lot of like Chinese cooking. Forgive my pronunciation, like doubanjiang. It's like the spicy bean paste. It's so good. It's also in like mapo tofu if you've ever made that. Oil. I like heating up pans and boiling water is like the worst part of trying to cook something because it's like you're so close to the next step, but you're also just so far away. Then I have my handy dandy thing here of soy sauce, which I always have to have one this large at least because I use so much of it. And then this recipe also calls for sake, which I don't have, but I do have a Chinese rice cooking wine, which is not Shaoxing cooking wine. This is just like a regular rice cooking wine, so it's the closest thing to sake.
sake that I have for cooking. This works. My pork, which has been defrosting since like 2 p.m. Although I'm starting to wonder if I should switch to ground turkey just to get something a little bit leaner, since I am trying to cut some fat off my body. But I just really love pork. It's so delicious. Oh my God, you can already smell that ginger and garlic. Doing an uneven half tablespoon because I honestly love this stuff so freaking much. Although I once put so much doppelgang into my mapo tofu that I actually made it a little unpleasant, so I do need to be careful and dial back sometimes. So I had to ask Siri a question, and then she's like, I found web results. I'll send them to Emma's iPhone, and then stop my video. So freaking rude. I'll just do the math in my head, and it's not gonna be right, and it's gonna be fine. I mean, does Asia really even use measurements? From what my understanding, not typically. It's all by the feeling. So we're just gonna feel this recipe when it comes to these. Touch more. Okay. Hey! Oi. Hey! Gotta be the pepper. Yeah, no, this is gonna take a lot of dishes. I'm just gonna assume, because for 4 people, it wants a 1/4 cup. I'm 1 person, so I'm just gonna assume that's about a tablespoon. Am I right? I don't know. We're gonna find out. More green onion. Now, this really only calls for like a tablespoon, I think, for 1 person, but I love green onion on like a really gross level. Not sure if you noticed because I put a whole green onion on my breakfast this morning. We're gonna put a whole green onion in this soup. Again, I'm trying to use all of my vegetables and like fresh stuff before I go on vacation in like 4 days. So that is sort of my thing at the moment, to just use everything because I don't want it to go bad. I could offer it to my roommate, but every single time I offer something to my roommate, she never really eats it. So it's kind of a waste. I mean, she offered, she's not here right now, and she offered me these like American cheese slices. And I was like, well, if my boyfriend wants a bacon, egg, and cheese, I guess I could use them for that, but I don't eat American cheese. And I'm pretty sure, well, actually no, American cheese is the thing. It's Kraft that's not allowed to be called cheese. So it's not chemically close enough to cheese, which is absolutely terrifying. So we're just gonna mix up here. So if you have ever made ramen, which I wanna be honest, like I really want to learn to make traditional tonkotsu ramen. I just know it's a lot of work. I've made pho before, which is not hard. It's just a long process, but ramen, I believe, is like a much more labor intensive process. And the base of ramen is like the tare, which is like the paste, which is in the soup. So it's like separate from the rest of the broth. So that's essentially what this is. This is like the tare, or like the flavoring paste for our broth, because our broth is actually like very, well, this is like a cheating version. So our broth is like stupid simple, but if you made like regular ramen, it's a little bit more complicated. But like, at least from my understanding, the broth is not the thing that's seasoned. It's this paste, which honestly, this looks gross right now, but it's gonna be great at the end. I also got these beautiful noodles, which I get almost all of my Asian groceries from H Mart or We, and I've mentioned We in the past. I will put my link in the description. It is a referral link. I'm not sponsored. It just like gives us each some money to spend if you would like, and if you'd like to use it, if you're interested in ordering from them, I'd really appreciate it. But these are ramen noodles, and they are a game changer when you're making this stuff at home. Okay, that should be mixed enough. And there we have it. So the beautiful fruits of my labor. I feel like the big thing is you always start with the broth. It's so good. It is honestly, like, it does take a little bit of time, and maybe I'm just slow. There's a lot of components going on, but it's an hour versus multiple hours. And you could make the same amount of bowl. You could make, I think, up to like the 4 bowls in the same amount of time. You just make the whole recipe instead of trying to turn it into quarters like I did. And it's just, it's so yummy. And look at how perfect the ramen noodles are. That is so good. That's essentially what I eat in a day. I'm not really a snacker. I used to be. It's something that I've really tried to get a lot better at. I eat a very Asian food based diet, and I drink a lot of kombucha and a lot of tea. I just thought this would be a fun way to show you guys kind of like what I eat each day and how I cook at home living in New York City. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will link the recipe for this down in the description below if you guys are interested in making it. Thank you so much for coming along with me today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
So good.
One person, one bowl of soup, all of these dishes. You know what? Maybe it's not that bad, but the struggles of cooking at home.
Every time